KP classes dedicated to excellence.
Hello everyone, this is R. Chandra from KP classes, and in this video we are looking into some of the easiest questions of past NATA paper. As you are aware, NATA examination, like any other competitive test, also has difficult, moderate and easy questions in the question, but it's always a combination of easy, moderate and difficult questions, and your target in the examination to boost up your score and reach your target. For that, it is important that you do very well in the easy part. Now, there can be some difficult questions which you probably might not score very well, but easy questions are something which you will need to boost up your score on. Doing silly errors in that area can can give you a result which is not up to the mark, or which you are not expecting for your NATA examination. So this video will be a model booster for you, wherein you understand what are those easy questions and how can you answer those easy questions. Let me just take you through some of those past easy questions, and let us have a discussion on those solutions, so that you have your morale for the examination boosted and you stay prepared for the examination with an understanding that there will be easy questions and you should not leave them. That understanding is very important in the NATA examination. So let us look into some past NATA questions which are very straightforward and easy. I think you can answer these questions probably within 10 seconds if you are able to understand the trick in it. So the sum of the first one, the sum of the digits of a two-digit number is 15. The difference between the digits is 3. So there is a two-digit number where the sum of the digits is 15 and the difference of the digits is 3. What are those two-digit numbers? What are the possible two-digit numbers? They're asking. They have given the options. Now, without any other calculation, just by this point that the sum of the digits is 15, just check the options. Are there options? Are all the options giving you the sum of 15 by adding them? 7 plus 5, that's not 15. So this right away, it is basically 12. So right away this cannot be the answer. 5 plus 6, this is 11. Right away not an answer. 7 plus 2, 9. Right away not the answer. 9 plus 6, 6 plus 9, that will be 15. Is the difference also 3? 9 minus 6, yes, 3. So right away A can be the answer. So this is just by following the given rule, because the options are designed in such a way that you can easily select the correct answer. However, you can also solve it. Assume that those two numbers are x and y. X plus y is given as 15. The difference of digits 2x minus y is given as 3. So if you add these, plus y minus y will get cancelled. This is 2x. 2x will be equal to 18. So that implies x will be 9. If you substitute x as 9, obviously you will get y as 6. So 6 and 9 are those digits in the given equation, or in the given statement. So 96 or 69 would be the correct answer. However, even without solving, you could have come up with the answer. So such easy questions in all the parts in mathematics. So even in this video, I've compiled questions from all the sections, including mathematics, physics and also architectural aptitude. There are easy questions in every section. So you don't have a mindset that, okay, I'm not good in maths. No, there are easy questions in every section. You have to capitalize on that. So the second part, the second question, before we look into it, let me tell you, it is important that you do well in all the sections, because there are easy questions in all the sections. There are moderate questions in all the sections. That is architectural aptitude, mathematics and also physics, or all the basics, or each and every topic included within architecture too. So in that context, it is very important that you have a thorough preparation of all the sections, and we at KP classes have prepared a course dedicated for NATA and JE2, which is our flagship 51-day course for NATA examination. The link for which you will find in the description of this video. You can also contact us on the call on the contact number which is scrolling on this video as well. Our team will be glad to help you in your preparation for the NATA examination. And NATA 51-day course is something which is designed to cover the entire syllabus, including drawing and sketching parts. That is the pen and paper based examination, not only the online part of the examination. It covers the entire syllabus, and the best thing of this course is whatever time you have, even if your exam is within next 15-20 days also, even then, even though the name is 51-day course, you can club up, you can do higher number of lectures every day, and within 15 to 20 days also you can cover the course. And the course is so flexible that even if you're targeting for the next year's NATA examination, even then this course will be helpful. You can just look into 3 to 4 lectures per week, and within say 6 to 7 months you will have a thorough preparation, including the study material and the test series included in this course. So that is something which you can utilize for your NATA and JEE preparation. And with past wonderful results in both JEE and also NATA examination, this course has been proven to be something very useful for students. So you can check out the details of this course in the description of the video. Moving on to the next one. Next question. A cardboard sheet is of rectangular shape with dimensions 50 centimeter into 30 centimeter. From each of the corners, a square is cut off so as to make an open box. If the side of the square is 10 centimeter, what is the volume of the box? So you have a rectangular cardboard sheet. First, let me draw it quickly. And the dimensions, now don't think that okay, it's a very lengthy question, this will be difficult. No, it is something very easy. So you have a rectangular cardboard sheet. They're saying a square is cut off at every corner, which is 10 cross 10. A 10 cross 10 square is cut off over here. Similarly, a 10 cross 10 square is cut off at this corner and also at this corner. Now, if you cut off these corners, you will get a cardboard sheet which can be molded, which can be folded into a cuboid. They're asking us the volume of that open box. So you will basically get a box. If you lift up these flaps, let me just shade it. So if you lift up this flap over here, this flap over here, so along these dotted lines, if you fold it, so this shaded portion, that becomes the wall of the box, and this dotted line which I've marked, that is this line of fold. So you need to visualize, and you are architects or aspiring architects, and I'm sure you are very good in visualizing these aspects. So this has to be basically folded into an open box, and they're asking us the volume of the box. Very straightforward question. Just mark the dimensions of the open box and you'll get your answer. So the total length is 50. If you cut off a square of 10 over here, 10 over here, so you have to subtract 10 on at the beginning and also at the end. So you will be left out with 30 centimeters in the center. So this is going to be 30 centimeters. Similarly, on the breadth dimension, 10 and 10, if you subtract, you will be left out with 10 more centimeters. And the height obviously is going to be the side of the square itself. So this height is also 10 centimeters. So what is the volume in cubic centimeter they're asking? So it is 30 centimeter cross 10 centimeter cross 10 centimeter. A very straightforward question again. 300 centimeter cube is the answer for this question, which you can easily type into the input box and you'll get your marks very easily. So this will hardly take you now, because I have drawn and explained. It might take it might look as if it's a lengthy question, but once you know the concept and if you're doing it, it will hardly take you 15 to 20 seconds to visualize and answer such easy questions. Like I said again, there are easy questions always in any question paper. Don't forget to do well in the easy questions. That is something which will boost up your score for the examination. The next one, the product of two numbers is 120. Sum of their squares is 289. The sum of the numbers is dash. They're asking x plus y. Let us say x and y are the two numbers. The product of these two numbers, x into y, that is given as 120. The sum of their squares, x square plus y square, is given as 289. They're asking us x plus y. You see a pattern over here. So this is x into y, this is x square plus y square, and I'm sure you know what is the square of x plus y. X sum of two digits, square of sum of two digits, x plus y whole square, can be written as x square plus y square plus 2xy, right? So that's what you get. So x square plus y square is 289. Instead of xy, let us just find out 2 into x into y. So basically, if xy is 120, 2 into xy will be 2 into x into y. That's going to be 120 into 2, that is 240. So basically, if I add these, x square plus y square plus 2xy is going to be 289 plus 240. 289 plus 240, that basically will give you 529. Now this 529 is nothing but x plus y whole square. They're asking us x plus y. So the answer for x plus y will be square root of 529, which So just think about squares. 25 square is 625. So you can, if just for your reference, 25 square is 625. So our answer should be less than that. 24 square, if you know, that should be 576. So our answer should be even less than that. If you know 22 square, 22 square is very easy. Even if you don't remember, you can quickly calculate 22 into 22. That is basically 484. It's very easy to calculate 22 square, so 484. So our answer should be for sure between 24 and 22. There's only one number between 24 and 22, that is 23. Square root of 529 is 23. Many of you, I'm sure, directly remember that the square root of 529 is 23. I'm just taking you through this calculation to tell you, in the examination, if you end up in a situation where you're not very confident on something, don't just leave it out over there. Take some time. That it is perfectly fine to take some say. What is the idea of these videos? It is mainly to help you and develop those tricks to boost up your score. So what is, do not get confused and leave out a question midway. If you are confused on something, you can take 10 seconds of break, think about how to solve further. You for sure will able to answer the question easily if you take that time. So taking 10 seconds of extra time and scoring correct answer or scoring those marks for the question, that is important than leaving it out just to save those 10 seconds. So 23 will be the answer for this question. The next one, moving towards some easy questions from physics part. So those were some questions from the math. In the physics portion, if you see, the speed of sound waves is maximum, and again a very simple concept, and anyone from say probably 6th 7th standard in schools also can give an answer with it for it. Sound waves don't have same speed in all medium. Sound is basically series of vibrations. It travels with the highest speed in a medium which is more dense. So in solids, the density of solids is higher generally compared to liquids and gases. So in solids, because the molecules are closely packed, the vibrations can transmit easily. So the speed of the sound wave is higher in solids. It is not same in all the medium. The answer for this will be solids. Solids have the maximum speed of sound compared to liquids and gases. So C will be the correct answer for it. The next one, this is based on simple question related to movement, motion. Girl starts her motion in a straight line at a velocity of the initial velocity that is given as 60 meter per second. Her velocity is changing at a constant rate. So there is a change of velocity. The rate of change of velocity is called as acceleration or deceleration, whatever it is in the given context. So basically they are saying that there is an acceleration or deceleration basically, and she stops after 60 seconds. The time is 60 seconds and the final velocity after 60 seconds is 0. The girl is stopping. What is the acceleration? A is being asked. So using the equations of motion, you can easily calculate the acceleration. Even without the equations of actually the derivation of equations of motions uses conceptual part. But let me try to explain you this question conceptually. So the girl is starting at a speed of 60 meter per second. If you just draw a reference diagram, so the girl is starting at a speed of 60 meter per second and she is reaching 0 meter per second in 60 seconds of time. So in 60 seconds of time, what is the change of velocity? In 60 seconds, the total velocity she is changing is from 60 to 0. So what is the change from 60 to 0? The total change is 60 meter per second. So she has to drop, the velocity should drop by 60 meter per second in 60 seconds. So what is the rate of change of velocity? What is acceleration basically by definition? The rate of change in velocity is called as acceleration, and that's what they're asking. What is the rate of change of this velocity in one? So rate of change in is how much velocity should you change in every second. If in 60 seconds the change is total of 60 meter per second, what is the change in every second? How much is the change per second? So in 60 seconds, 60 meter per second, for 1 second it is going to be 1 meter per second square. So the rate of change is basically, so per second the rate of change is 1 meter per second. So 1 meter per second per second, change of 1 meter per second every second. So the answer for this is going to be 1 meter per second square. However, this is deceleration because she is starting from 60 and reaching 0. So it has to be minus 1 meter per second square should be the answer. That's conceptually. Let us also try to solve it using the equations of motion, because some students are some students do not relate to why do we even have second square in the units of acceleration. So understanding the questions in a conceptual manner is important for the examination, and NATA is a conceptual examination. Doing well in it can be only possible only when you're good in your conceptual level of understanding of all the topics. That's the reason I took some time to explain you the logic behind it without using equations of motion. You can also solve it using equations of motion. You have this equation V is equal to u plus at. V is basically the final velocity, which in our question is 0. U is the initial velocity, which in our question is 60 meter per second, plus A into the time is given as 60 seconds. Let me just write it as 60 seconds. So this implies the acceleration is going to be minus 60 divided by 60. The numerator is in meter per second, the denominator is in second. So this will cancel out and you'll get minus 1 meter per second square, and that should be your answer. Like we calculated earlier too, D would be the correct answer for this question. You can, if you remember the equations of motion, you can do it this way. If you're good at conceptual understanding, even without that, you can easily answer it within 10 to 15 seconds of time. So that was an easy question too. Again, a conceptual question. Like I say always, there are always conceptual questions in NATA examination which do not test only your understanding of equations and mathematical skills, but also your basic understanding of concepts. Like this one, at which spot will it take longer to cook potatoes by boiling in a vessel? You're not having a pressure cooker, but you're just boiling potatoes in an open vessel. They have given A, B, C, D 4 points. They're asking where will it take more time to cook the potatoes. So basically, to cook potatoes, you'll need to boil the water, and the boiling point of water depends on the atmospheric pressure. So I'm sure you are aware, if the atmospheric pressure is less, if the atmospheric pressure is low, at low atmospheric pressure, water will boil easily. The boiling point of water will be less than 100 degrees centigrade. Boiling point of water is at 100 degrees centigrade when at a standard atmosphere. But if you change the atmospheric pressure is reduced, then the boiling point of water also will come down, and obviously it will take you more time to cook the potatoes. The reason for this is basically, what is boiling? When you heat something, or particularly water in our case, when does water boil? Basically, water is in that liquid state, and when there is atmospheric pressure applied onto it, there is no boiling. But if you heat it at an enough level that the molecules overcome this atmospheric pressure, that's when they start to boil. When the water molecules start to move at a rate where they are able to overcome the atmospheric pressure, that's what we call boiling as. But at a higher elevation, at a higher altitude, the water can easily evaporate because the atmospheric pressure is less. So water can even boil at a temperature less than 100 degrees centigrade because it has to overcome less pressure to start to boil. So the highest point in the given figure, that is where boiling point will be lowest, and that's where it will take more time to cook the potatoes compared to a point where there is higher atmospheric pressure, where the boiling is not so easy. That's the reason at higher altitudes, to cook something, it is always important to use pressure cookers, so that in a pressure cooker basically the boiling point of water is elevated because of development of extra pressure rather than atmospheric pressure. So anyways, the answer for this question is going to be the highest altitude point, which in the given figure is obviously option A. So A is where the boiling is going to take the longest possible time in the given figure. So that's a basic conceptual question again on atmospheric pressure and boiling. Moving towards some questions from architecture topic. The first one over here, if you see, typically what is the architectural element indicated as A called as? This is something which we've studied in detail in our 51-day course already in the topic of history of architecture, where we study about how a dome is supported in mosques and how a dome is supported in churches. Particularly in church architecture, dome is supported using these triangular concave elements which are called as pendentives. Anyone who knows the basics of architecture, who has attended our lectures of 51-day course for the history of architecture portion, I'm sure you can answer this question within 2 seconds of time. Point A, those are called as pendentives, which is mainly used to support a dome over a square plan. Because dome has a circular plan, you cannot directly place it on a square shaped wall. So that load is transferred using elements like pendentives or squinches. In this diagram, what is denoted, these are pendentives which are used in church architecture. Similar elements used in mosque architecture, Islamic architecture are referred to as squinches. So the answer for this question would be option D. The next one, the famous building shown in this picture is known as, what is the name of the building? Basically they're asking. This is the stadium in China which was used to hold the Olympics as well, which is famously referred to as the bird's nest. I'm sure you know the famous architects who designed this particular building. Also, if you know, do make sure you comment it down in the comment section of this video. We also understand that you're interested in our videos, and we'll try to bring you more such videos for your preparation of NATA and also JEE examination. Just to give you a hint, the architects of this particular stadium, Bird's Nest Stadium in China, they also are so their firm, basically they also won the Pritzker Architecture Prize, which is considered to be the highest possible prize in architecture, considered as the Nobel Prize in architecture by many. So Pritzker Award was awarded to the architects of this particular building. Make sure you comment down the names of those architects in the comment section below. So that's a famous building. Again, a very simple question. They have given 4 images. They're asking us find the odd one out, and anyone, even someone who is not very strong in the basics of architecture, can identify easily that first building, that is A, C and D, are vernacular buildings. Now what is vernacular architecture? We've studied that in building construction materials subject already in the 51-day course if you have attended it. So basically vernacular architecture is where the buildings are built using traditional material which are locally available, using traditional craftsmanship, not much dependent on the industrial forms or industrial material and techniques. So A, C and D are all traditional vernacular buildings of India from various regions including Kerala and other. So every region has its own vernacular architecture. B is something which is more of a modern construction, not of vernacular type. So that becomes the odd one out. Answer will be option B for this particular question. Next one, again this is based on artists and their art. We have a separate lecture for studying art and artists and their famous works and various art styles in the lecture series of arts. I'm sure those who have prepared are very confident on the answer for this question. This is a famous work of the Dutch artist Vincent van Gogh. What is the name of this particular painting? So this is one of the most famous works of Vincent van Gogh, who is known for various. So he was an artist who produced art at a rate which probably no other artist of his time would produce. So in the last few days of his life, it is said in the last 2 to 3 months of his life, he produced artwork, such masterpieces, at a rate of more than 1 artwork per day. So that's the rate at which he produced art towards the end of his life, who is very famous artist. And this particular painting, it is referred to as Starry Night, which is option D. Starry Night is given. So just to confuse you, similar names are also given, like night star, cloudy sky. So they have given such options just to confuse you. The name of this painting is Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. D would be the correct answer for this particular painting. If you remember our lecture series, our first day 1 of the 51-day course, which is also available on our YouTube channel too, where we studied the principles of design, we did take up this example particularly to analyze the principles of design and how Vincent van Gogh achieved the asymmetrical balance of this painting. What is the focal point of this painting? We had a discussion on all these aspects using this particular painting in that lecture series. If you have not watched it, make sure you watch our day 1 of 51-day course on this YouTube channel to understand our teaching methodology for the NATA preparation and JEE preparation. The next one, based on reasoning, identify the correct shadow of Nancy. Nancy's picture is going over there, and there are options, 10 options. They're asking us which is the correct shadow. Very simple, straightforward question. Again, something which even students who are in the beginning, say in the beginning days of their school, even probably they can try to answer it very easily. You can see Nancy has one hand upwards, one hand downwards. So right away you can eliminate many of these options. Wherein one hand up and down is not seen. So, and even in fact, you see the way in which one hand is down, both are in the form of curves. So here this is not curve, right? So you can eliminate these options as well. So we are just left out with probably 5, 7 and 10 of this. If you look into her dress, so the shape of it, it's over here single curve, but here it is petaled, so that also can be eliminated. Now we are left out with 7 and 10. If you look into the curve and the alignment of face with it, so that alignment is seen only in 7. Here the face is not aligned with that hand, so this also is eliminated. Such questions can easily be answered with elimination approach. 7 will be the correct answer. will hardly take you 10 seconds to identify that this is the correct shadow if you are having right concentration. So that's again a very simple question. Again, the last question of this particular video. Find the appropriate figure from the alternatives given below that best fits into the blank space of the problem figure. The problem figure is given. They're asking us which part will fit into it. Very easy to complete this diagram. You should have a single vertical line with a cross over here and a horizontal line below the cross. That has to be the piece. There has to be a central vertical line from top to bottom, because here also you have top to bottom, right? There's no complete continuous line over here, so A is eliminated directly. You have continuous vertical line in all the three remaining options, but the cross and the horizontal line should have a gap in it. The cross and the horizontal line doesn't have a gap here. There's no horizontal line at all in the option D. So option B is the only possible answer, where you have a cross and a horizontal line and a vertical line through and through from top to the bottom. So B is the correct answer for this question. Again, something which will hardly take you 5 to 10 seconds to answer. Hope this video will help you boost up your confidence for the upcoming NATA examination and will give you a confidence that you can do well, boost up your score by doing well in the easy questions of the question paper. Keep that in mind, and that for sure will be helpful for you to boost up your score in the examination. And you can always use our 51-day course for the upcoming NATA examination to have a thorough preparation of the entire syllabus, including the online test and also the computer-based test and also the pen and paper-based sketching test. That is it from my end. Thank you for watching this video. Do share it with your friends and subscribe to our 51-day course.
KP classes, dedicated to excellence.